there are apparently different types of dragons, and that there are people out there that would say they are experts on these not only mythical but fictional creatures. But the thing is, though, also saw that they're actually like reptile experts, so that kind of makes sense. Oh, hello everyone! Welcome to Analyzing Abstracts, where me and my friends chat. Today, I have a special guest because she is a part-time art teacher and illustrator. Ooh. And has gone one day since her last workplace incident, apparently. And also, she liked to say that her greatest quarantine achievement is lip syncing to Jennifer Saunders' cover of Holding Out for a Hero. Please welcome Patricia Ramos.
Hi.
Hi, Patty.
Hello. I'm good. How are you? Grabe.
Obvious next question ko.
Oo. We'll just start strong. By reading each other's minds.
How's your week ba? Like how's your day, week? How's been
My,
before you sat
my week,
down?
hmm, let me think about it. Because it's so eventful.
Ay
Char.
wow, grabe, dami
Medyo lab.
nangyari.
Di naman. I know. I think actually I would change my intro to my new quarantine achievement is getting a new bike. Kasi I joined the club of bike
Bike
owners
eh.
in QC.
Saan ka pupunta?
So ikot-ikot lang. Not like I can go anywhere. But it still feels liberating to be able to go out of the house. Parang bale, if you imagine yourself in a zombie apocalypse, this is
Wow,
your new way of transporting. Ganun.
special. Zombie apocalypse.
Oo.
So
Kasi,
specific.
true. Alam mo naman, mga FA, char.
Oh wow, grabe. So Patty, our topic today is what makes a Stephen Sondheim musical? Question mark. So we're going to talk about Stephen Sondheim, the musical and lyricist extraordinaire of
Mm-hmm.
musical theater.
Mm-hmm.
Coincidentally, I think he turned 90 this year. So I did not plan this to be timed with his birthday or anything.
Yeah, not at all. Not even.
Yeah,
If you haven't seen the rendition of Ladies Who Lunch, yung
with Meryl
uh
Streep,
Meryl
Christine
Streep,
Baranski, and Audra
yeah,
McDonald. I love that.
yes, that's very same. I think you haven't fully lived your life until you've seen that rendition because it's like
Yeah.
very
They should make nga
legendary.
separate eh. Like
True.
their own versions eh.
Oo. That's true, but also like the three of them together, it's parang yeah, like your world is gonna explode. That's where this big pop up once.
Well,
I
anyway,
think.
Sondheim.
Mhm. Are you gonna get it out of the way? What our favorite Sondheim musical is? Like,
I
as
think
I know,
ikaw,
very
what's
casual
yours?
listeners. I would say, well, okay, you can. I also want to know what your first one was. But my first one was what's this? Sweeney Todd. And then I didn't know who he was yet. I was just okay. I like the music here. It's very emo and like alam mo yun, like
Emo opera.
it's very musical. Yes, but it's an emo opera. For me, like kung emo si or like kung pop punk si Phantom of the Opera, Sumikat would be the emo one. But I think my real favorite is Into the Woods. Yeah.
Mm.
How about you? About
Which I find funny that you say Into the Woods kasi Into the Woods yung kalaban niya for best musical at the time was Phantom of the Opera, I think.
Oh, interesting.
So that's why it didn't win kasi it
Oh
came
my
up
god.
against Phantom. I'll double check, but I know that that was the like it's like what do you call that? It's like yung everything is so good that if it were in a different year, each one of them would have won. Parang ganon. So like the timing of having all these good stuff happen in the same year and then fight each other. Parang ang hirap naman, parang ganon.
So true. I felt the same way with Natasha Pierre and The Great Comet. Like I remember it went up against Dear Evan Hansen was the one that won
Oh,
Best Musical.
wala.
Yeah,
Dear
so I
Evan
was like,
Hansen na yan.
yeah, well, I'm still team Natasha Pierre, so sorry guys. But I that's what I know. That's how I felt the same way lang din. How about you? What's your favorite Sondheim musical?
Ako, I would say talaga it's Sweeney Todd. It's
Mm,
just something
mm-mm.
else talaga. But I feel like the more I watch, the more I love all of them equally. Like by saying Sweeney Todd is what I like the most. It's not because like 10 times better ganun. It's just that just
Yeah,
an inch better than the others. Pero
yeah.
they're all equally so good.
Mm-hmm. No, I think the thing that you can take away from Sondheim musicals is that each of them has a very distinct theme. Like I don't
Very.
feel he writes about the same thing. So each
No.
of them hits different to you, parang ganun. So there's not like one that's better. It's just more this one resonated with me a little more.
Yeah, parang
Diba?
it's like he's trying to change it up every time. It's like with every musical he released during that time period of when he released a lot, parang everyone is not what you expect to come out from what he came out previously, parang ganon. Kasi like
Yeah.
the succession of it na parang he came out with Sunday in the Park with George, which was a very you can say na parang artist heavy na rendition na very melancholic ganun ba. And then after that he comes out with Sweeney Todd na parang tama ba in order ko?
Actually, Sweeney Todd came before Sunday in the Park.
Oh,
And I
edi
only
ganun
say
pa
this
rin. So
because I have
parang Sweeney
the
Todd, something so
Wikipedia open.
sad and something so
Yeah,
morbid,
yeah, yeah.
something so horrible. And then it goes to this really nice light, oh, Sunday in the Park. Na medyo heavy pa
Yeah.
rin, pero like, it's not as heavy as anything that happened in Sweeney Todd. And it's so meta pa, the fact na may two timelines siya and everything. And then, after that, he comes out with Into the Woods na, it's just pure crazy. Like, sobrang crazy talaga ng Into the Woods.
What did you feel about Into the Woods? Like, what makes you say that it's crazy?
Kasi he took fairy tales and then made it so mature at the same time so funny, and
Mm-hmm.
then the play pa is so meta, and then everything is so stupid but fun stupid, not like bad stupid. Everything is so stupid,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
yung
yeah,
mga princess, they're so stupid. Even Cinderella, kahit ang ganda ng
yeah,
intention niya, she's so stupid pa rin. Even Jack, si Jack mas lalo na. Si Little Red
yeah,
din.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
everyone's so stupid, pero at the end it's like yun nga, sabi nga ni Witch, 'di ba? You're not good,
Yeah.
you're not bad, you're just
Oh my
nice.
god.
'Di ba? Parang
Yeah, that's
in
my
the end, oh nga,
favorite.
that's why they're all stupid kasi they're too nice. They're too nice to
Yeah,
each other. No one's mean to each other.
yeah. And no, I think well, I was at first I was going to say like my favorite stupid character out of all of them is are the princess because sobrang even if this musical came out in the 80s, I feel that a lot of his works like alam mo yun, like they're so timeless and they speak so much about
Yeah.
things that are resonant until today, and you have
Yeah.
these like jock guys being so sad about, oh, I know I can't find the princess, or like it's so hard to get the princess that I want. Then when they finally do in the second act, like, okay, spoilers, but you know what happens.
I mean, like
One
the
of them keeps
whole agony song is so funny talaga.
yeah.
Kasi it's so because guys aren't known for like to be emotional, 'di ba? But then they're being emotional, but for the most petty reason pa. Tapos
Mm-hmm.
the way he writes the jokes pa in between the lines na
Oh my
sobrang
god.
funny talaga. Like yung
Yeah.
I'm always 10 steps behind, always 10 feet below.
10
Like, oh
feet
my gosh.
below. Yeah. It's
So
so
fun.
good.
So
And
good.
the way that he weaves the melodies inside, and it's kind of like a joke pa where he
Yes.
sings the Rapunzel song. Oh my god, so good. I love
Ah.
yeah, dude.
It's so funny talaga.
It was so good. And yeah, so like his the humor is so iconic, and I really feel that you can't find it's just such a lightning in the bottle thing.
Mm-mm.
Na how can you possibly find someone as witty as Gal?
I think if if he has a brand, even though technically if you put everything next to each other, there's no similarity between them. But if there
No,
is a
not at all.
similarity, it probably is his humor. It's always this very biting satirical humor na
Mm-hmm.
parang it's always making fun of the characters in a way. Even in his
Yeah,
like most mature ones like Sweeney Todd and Passion, na
yeah,
parang there's always a slight humor. Even though I haven't fully watched Passion yet, I've seen like snippets lang. Pero I think I'm gonna like
yeah.
it then. Pero like that one, same with Sweeney Todd, hindi masyado humorous. Even though Sweeney Todd's more like half humor, half melodrama. Pero itong Passion, I
Yeah.
think is his one of his more serious ones. Pero like I think his style of humor and melodrama and yung how he does well in both is so I don't know talaga like hindi fresh eh kasi he's already it's been a while pero like yun siguro what you said na timeless nga like
Yeah.
like the fact na people revive his shows so many times and not just like one show ganon na
Mm-hmm.
almost all of his shows like you can see a revival of each and almost every one of his shows 'di ba parang ganon so
Yeah,
parang
yeah.
that just shows na parang even if the production met if the sets change, the costumes change, the actors change, the fact
Mm-hmm.
na in his lyrics and music, nandun na lahat yung magic and everything that he does, parang ganon. It's already there. You just need to bring
Mm-hmm.
it to life, ganon. Make the people see. And the fact
Definitely.
na yun nga, na parang kahit anumang age ngayon, it's still relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Lahat ng points niya.
Yeah, definitely. And I was gonna say about Into the Woods how when you said that it takes fairy tale characters and kind of makes them a satire or a black comedy of what of a
Mm-mm.
version of what they used to be. And parang that was basically what the brothers Grimm wanted them to be. Parang ganon.
Yeah,
That they were common or like let's say pangmasa na stories at the time. And then he just kind of added a very contemporary flavor into them. Ganon. I also feel like it was Shrek before Shrek. Alam mo yun?
I true.
Like,
But then like
diba?
it the story's already like sad, diba? Like Cinderella pa lang. I mean,
Oo.
it's like he just made it lang less fantastical in a way. Para okay, kaya
Mhm.
pala ganito yung nangyayari kay Cinderella because later on something like this will happen to her, parang ganun and stuff like basta parang he made it more make sense yung morbidity of the original fairy tales.
Right. And as you said earlier, like they were so stupid, but I also think that they were stupid because it was necessary.
Yeah,
Because alam mo yan, it's a musical about like growing up and maturing and how even adults need to learn to be mature. Parang ganon.
because children will listen.
And yes, but also adults. Adults need to learn. But yeah,
Yeah, that's why
so
you need to be mature because children will listen.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But are you also a child? Parang ganon.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. When I first heard watched that musical, very ano talaga. It was a very existential
Ako din. True.
crisis that
Like,
happened,
I was like,
right?
honestly, the only musical like I really, really like yung talagang love and adore before watching mga Sondheim was like Chicago na. Kasi Chicago
Yeah,
also had the same idea na parang satirical about, ito naman about celebrity culture, di ba? I mean,
yeah,
I like pa
yeah.
rin naman mga musicals like Phantom and Les Mis and Wicked. Like, they bring something pa rin. Pero seeing this musical released in the 1980s and being so
Mm-hmm.
funny, mature, at the same time
Yeah,
timeless nga kasi it still affects today. Parang, wow, why hasn't anyone told me about this? Bakit kailangan malaman ko pa nung nilabas nila yung film adaptation?
and how do we ano ba? Like I don't wanna be I don't wanna make this like rift between pop musicals, let's say, like Cats or The Lion King,
Wapop
which are both
talaga.
coincidentally podcasts. Parang I don't know.
You
Well,
mean
I wouldn't say
mainstream?
pop, but like yes, mainstream. About I guess I would say more hindi universal but like more popular topics or
Mm-mm.
things that the whole family can enjoy, parang ganun. So it's ano, I feel that yun nga, after you dive into those the usual musicals, talagang it would be a great service to you if you tried these other ones like Chicago or Cabaret, ganon,
Oh,
or
cabaret.
ano, yeah, the things that would be like, oh, raunchy, ganon. But then
Yeah.
there's something always deeper. So like, guys, don't knock it just because it's sexy.
Well, ako naman is like musical. I've always before like seeing these deeper ones. I've always thought the musical lang is about the singing, 'di ba? So I
Oh,
never thought it would
oh.
be about this play on words na malalim,
Mm-hmm.
na funny, and
Mm-hmm.
at the same time referential to other stuff and
Yeah.
meta. I've never seen this level of hype. I don't want to say hyper meta, pero parang ganun na yung level ni ano ni Sondheim magsulat. It's like multiple layers of meta.
Yeah, and I know there was this one video essay nga actually that if you'd like Sondheim, I feel that if you've watched Star Kid, have you seen Star Kid
No.
before musical? Oh no! So Star Kid was most famous for making Darren Criss popular kasi
Mm,
sila yung very popular musical. And then they had what's this a new musical na parody rin, but it's about Disney tropes or like
mm,
it's called Twisted. And parang Twisted kasi it's a play on Wicked because it takes Aladdin and then talks about it in Jafar's point of view. Ganon. Yeah, but I feel like this is super different kasi it's not just well, medyo spoilers, pero it's not just like a commentary on the story itself
mhm,
of Aladdin. Kasi originally the writers of the musical na Twisted, they said that I wrote this musical because I hated Aladdin's character in the original movie, parang ganon.
but
So
then
ayun.
that's so different
Mm-mm.
from how Sondheim approaches his musicals, I feel like. Kasi those ones
Mm.
come from like, oh, I didn't like how, so I want to parody it. Pero it's still fun.
Yeah,
Pero
yeah, yeah.
the way Sondheim reaches in deep down, it's like he's trying to make you understand yourself as a human, like what it is to be human.
Yeah.
Like all of his musicals are like that. Parang I read an article nga na said na parang Sondheim and Weber are like yung parang considered rivals kasi during
Really?
kasi parang
Wow.
no in like the scene lang na parang they don't consider
Okay.
themselves that pero like yung
Yeah, yeah,
the way critics mention compare them ganon. Ang nangyayari kasi
yeah.
Weber gets the fame and the popularity in the mainstream
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
pero Sondheim gets the perfect acclaim from the critics na ano kasi Weber's musicals get flack minsan 'di ba by critics na parang
Yeah.
hindi naman ganun
Well, they
kaganda
don't
or like
know.
so like yun
Yeah.
yung parang naging rivalry nila pero like what it said there nga na parang it's really more than that na parang it's about this si Sondheim he did
Mm-hmm.
something to musical theater that no one thought could happen, which is bring very dark, very mature, edgy themes and make it likable. Na if you look at
Mm-hmm.
if you look at his main characters pa nga I don't know kasi I haven't watched all of them pero from what I know and from what I've seen parang most if not all of his main characters are the most unlikable people you probably meet
Yeah.
na parang they do bad decisions or they do bad things pero
Yeah, yeah,
he makes you like them in the end. Parang ganon. Even if they
yeah.
die, even if they win in a bad way, ganon. There's in the end, you're not supposed to like these people. But then what you come to realize is these people are could be you, parang ganon. Does that make sense? Na parang na hindi ka man si like Sweeney Todd who would like to get revenge on the man who stole your daughter by
Yeah.
pero you understand why he did what he did, even though you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna kill people in order to feed them to other people. Pero
Yeah.
you understand why he did it. Parang ganun. I think yun yung
Yeah,
goal
yeah.
niya in each of his musicals is yung parang showing people na you're making fun of these people na parang you think they're stupid, you think they're bad. Pero can't you, you must see yourself in them then, in a way. He's making us more empathetic. Parang ganon.
We agree with that. Na it's really about empathy and showing his characters as like human talaga.
As
Okay,
real
I think
people.
that's yeah. I think that's such the one of the bigger contrasts between him and Andrew Lloyd Webber. So feeling ko I'm also part of that. Oh, I'm team Sondheim, not team Andrew Lloyd Webber. But
Honestly,
like,
ako din, Team
right?
Sondheim. I
Yeah.
mean, Weber's okay. I think, nga pa nga, I like some others more than Weber eh. It's not that
Yeah.
Weber's mainstream or anything. It's just that medyo distant kasi in feeling.
I was gonna say na parang his characters in comparison to Sondheim's kasi they're like the opposite of flawed. Like if you were to say si
They're
Christine or si
perfect.
Raoul or my favorite Weber musical is Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, ganon.
Oh,
And
that's
then the
really
way
good
that
naman.
he sings,
But it's
yeah,
so
it's
like, or I
so
get
fun.
it. I get what you're saying na parang, it's so very like wishy-washy na parang, we're like perfect people.
Yeah, definitely. Tapos parang that's the I feel the antithesis of Sondheim. In that kahit the Phantom like si Eric, if you would see him, he's also like, brooding, but also what else? Parang ganun. Not to say that he's a bad character,
Yeah,
but like the character development that Sondheim offers, parang
sobra.
it's really
More than much.
something else. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
something else talaga. Like even compared to other musicals na famous like Les Mis, like
Yeah.
kahit hindi Andrew Lloyd Webber eh.
Oh
Even from
yeah.
his mentor,
Oo.
did you know? I did not know this. I researched it lang. Pero apparently his mentor is Hammerstein of Rogers and Hammerstein.
And Hamilton, yeah.
So
I had no idea. Si Stephen Sondheim?
yeah,
Okay.
protege siya ni Hammerstein. Tapos
Oh, okay. That
I'm
makes
like, whoa, that makes sense kasi like
yeah.
Rogers and Hammerstein then likes to take some really dark stuff. Like look at Sound of Music, diba? They
Yeah,
made
yeah,
they made an
definitely.
can I even say anti-Nazi even though hindi naman Nazi related masyado yung story. Pero like the idea of they take things and make it more empathetic ganun. Pero ang difference lang is they never took it to the level of what Sondheim did.
Oo, I think the ano ba? Like their topics, I was gonna say nga, like their topics are very proto Sondheim in the way na
Mm. Yeah,
their
totoo.
characters gave a different view, parang of what, like for example, Cinderella, like it's the most, din of me for Rodgers and
Hmm.
Hammerstein, na parang, wow, this, I don't know how to feel about it, but also like, I like it, ganon.
Yeah.
And,
I think
yeah.
I think na what's missing, quote unquote missing lang sa Rodgers and
Mhm.
Hammerstein is they never took it to the level of what Sondheim did. Like if
Yeah,
Sondheim was
I
given
agree.
Sound of Music, he would probably make it sa point of view ng Nazis. Parang ganong level siya.
Yeah, I
If
agree.
Sondheim was given Cinderella, he'll probably do it in the point of view nung stepmother. Parang ganon. Like he'll take it to the next level of like empathy. But then at the end, I think doon nakuha ni Sondheim yung empathy level niya of writing lyrics from Rodgers and Hammerstein kasi I feel like
Mhm.
they also write their lyrics and music in a way that you feel with the characters and not just at the characters, parang with the characters. Like you can see naman how much people love Maria, 'di ba, from Sound of Music,
Yeah,
'di ba?
yeah.
So and
Oo.
that's not because Maria's like perfect or ano, it's because she's just so likable kasi even if she's
Oo.
flawed, even if she's like not a perfect person kasi she's not ano ganyan ganyan ganyan. Parang I think that's where Sondheim got it naman. Na mentor siya well.
Oo, I agree. Like thinking about how, for example, getting to know you. Parang if you were to hear it the first time, you would never. The last thing you would ever think is this is about an English school teacher teaching Thai kids or ano yun, Siamese children, ganon, and talking about their differences even though like I'm white and you're Asian or ganon. Like
What's
how
this? What
would
they're
you
talking
ever
about?
getting to know you from
Oh,
yeah, from the King and I.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Parang, it's just that, I think, my friend, si Mandy, shout out to Mandy, but like, she's a
Yeah.
bigger fan of
Shout out
musicals
to
than I
Mandy.
am. And then
Yeah.
she has,
Siguro
yeah,
magagalit
like,
siya sa atin na tayo nag-uusap pero wala
oh
siya
my
dito.
God. Yeah, I agree. But like, she has this list kasi of music that you don't know came from musicals. Parang ganun.
Mm.
Popular songs that came from musicals. And ayun, that really reminds me of that. Speaking of like unlikable characters, I feel si Bobby from Company is something I would send guys I don't necessarily agree with. Parang ganun, like with the
I
relationships and
hate
stuff.
Bobby so much.
There you go. our hot take of the
Bobby's
night.
like the worst person ever,
Yeah,
honestly.
I don't know how to feel about company, and yet like when he sings,
Pero
when he
I really
sings
like
his,
Company naman.
I do too. It's a very millennial musical. What do you like about company?
It's so funny that you say that. Kasi I read
Yeah.
na Sondheim made Company or like adapt. I don't know if he wrote it kasi the story. Pero like he
Mm-hmm.
made Company kasi he thought that musicals at the time were very like escapist. So he wanted to write a
Oh,
musical that the bourgeois people that watch musicals could relate to and throw it back at their face at how bourgeois they are, bougie they are.
okay. I understand. Now
Did
I get
everything
it
click
about
na?
you.
Like every song?
Yeah, especially ladies who lodge. Because of course, like full circle.
'Di ba? And I love the fact na he doesn't like make fun of one type of person. He makes fun
Yeah,
of everyone. He makes fun of the single, the married,
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
engaged, the
The
hopeless
older.
romantic, the one who doesn't care. He makes fun of every single one of them.
Yeah, yeah. Grabe, and yun nga, parang it's so multifaceted about like how, what's this, about like an adult life and
Mm-mm.
usually how, ano
I
yan,
think it parang
it changes
selfish.
your life. Oh yeah, yeah, I agree.
Like every choice they made kasi in the musical was very
Mm-hmm.
selfish if you think
Mm-hmm.
about it. Like if you remove all of the comedy and all of the drama, in essence, every choice they made was because they were selfish, 'di ba? Parang ganun.
Yeah,
Bobby's jealous of the married friends because he's selfish nga na he wants to feel something. Pero the married friends are jealous at Bobby because because he's dating three women. So parang like it's all about the selfish desire talaga.
yeah, yeah. And how like you wish that, oh, you're, literally like
Your
the
life
grass
is
is
different from
greener.
what you have
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now,
yeah, yeah.
but
Super.
everyone else is jealous of you. Parang ganun.
Yeah, yeah. Grabe. Marry me a little, hits me. Parang gano'n.
Kaya nga I find it funny that you said it's very millennial kasi parang in the end, everyone reached a point that they were jealous of something that they didn't have and
Mm,
they forget that they
mm,
should appreciate of what they have already. Ganon.
yeah, I get that.
Huhu.
Oh. Biglang na ano, eh, ta's biglang you remember being alive and then, oh,
But
grabe.
yun nga, di ba? Like in the end, like what we said, di ba? These are so unlike. Not one
Mhm.
of them is a likable character, honestly, sa
Oh, yeah.
company. Everyone's like not even
Annoying.
stupid. They're just so selfish, ganun. Pero the fact na he made it a comedy, he made it
Oo.
minimalist yung approach, makes you see na parang, it's like a mirror almost na parang, oh my God, am I like this?
Yeah,
I should
yeah.
probably, I think, which is the truth nga kasi he said nga, di ba, he wanted to throw back yung lifestyles ng bougie people back into their face.
Yeah. It's just, whenever I think about who am I in the cast of company or something, like I can't, like everyone's such a caricature of a person I
Mm.
know. Parang ganon. I
Mm.
can't fully identify with like one person or anything.
Mm-mm.
So
Which just makes you
yeah.
human kasi
Mm-hmm.
if you understand almost each and every one of the characters, that means at one point in your life, you felt yung selfishness na they felt in the play.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Uh, company. I don't know.
I really that's why I really like it kasi it's so wild talaga and to think that he wrote that in the 60s or 70s, 'di ba? Parang wow,
Mm-hmm. The
more
same.
people should
Yeah.
watch it so that not just musicals but every type of art form will be inspired by it, 'di ba? The idea of making a mirror but not make it preachy and make it likable.
Definitely. And I know, like I feel like people when they go into musicals, they're always expecting such a good time, or alam mo yun, like how they would say
Yes.
animation, or they would say, oh, it's an animated movie, it's for kids, it's lighthearted, but then it could be so much more. And that's what I feel when
Yeah.
Stephen Sondheim brings to
Yes,
the
that's true.
table, diba?
That's what the critics say din na parang he did something na people kasi always thought that musicals should be something light, something
Mm-hmm,
escapist.
mm-hmm.
But each and every one of his musicals brings something more, brings a darkness and edge to it. I think totoo yung darkness kasi each and every one of his musicals very dark. Even the
Right.
comedy is very black pa rin. Even his lighter ones like Sunday in the Park with George, that's like one of his lighter ones, but it's still
Yeah.
very dark and very very rude. Kasi like
Yeah.
it's like talking like yung dalawang Celeste, the two Celestes.
Uh-huh.
They're so like ano tawag doon? They're so rude. Pero like oh my god. What?
Wait,
But you know there are
disclaimer
people
lang.
like them. So
Yeah, definitely. And disclaimer lang that like I haven't what's this watched Sunday in the Park in a long time kasi I don't know how to feel about it. Like it's about art. Like for me it should be like my favorite of all his musicals, right? But I don't know what it really talks about for ganon.
it's
Or like
about
what I picked up
obsession, I
from it.
think.
Yeah, yeah. For
Kasi
obsession.
George Surat focused on his painting rather than focusing on his wife, 'di ba? Parang mga ganon. Even the others na parang they're focused on what they're doing, ganon. To the point na he makes this wonderful, wonderful painting, pero in the second act, the people in the painting hate being in the painting, 'di ba? Parang ganon. And then
Right,
later,
right.
his fictional grandson, kasi he never had children apparently,
Mm-hmm.
his fictional grandson is also creating like his own art, pero he's so obsessed with it na this time we see him divorced na nga siya
Yeah.
from his wife and stuff. So I think it's about obsession talaga na. I think the reason lang why it's not like considered one of his best because
Mm,
most of his other musicals are very ensemble. Like each and every character has their own story. But this one, kasi Sunday in the Park with George, it's only focused on George. Eh.
yeah, yeah.
So if you're not
As
relating
well.
with George, edi it's not for you. Parang ganun.
Yeah, I guess so. Or maybe it did have something to say about his own, like Stephen Sondheim's own artistic.
Well, he made that kasi Merrily We Roll Along, which I think people should watch then. Kasi it's Nolan. It's Christopher Nolan as a musical.
Oh, okay.
You know Merrily? Do
I
you know
have
ba?
not,
Merrily We
but
Roll Along?
I'm aware of
So
it.
the
But
idea of it
yeah.
is the musical spans 20 years and
Mm-hmm.
then there are four what do you call that? Four not really acts
Characters?
pero like there's four
Oh,
acts.
okay.
Pero each act is 5 years apart.
Yeah.
Pero it starts at the end and then ends in the beginning. So the
Ooh.
musical starts when they're famous and then the
Okay.
musical ends when they were just starting out.
Okay. Oh, so yeah, it is a Benjamin Button kind of situation.
It's a memento
Yeah,
musical.
Memento. Okay, okay.
Because it start yeah. And I don't know if you since you don't know Merrily We Roll Along, Richard Linklater, the guy who made Boyhood and before series, he's making a Merrily We Roll Along film adaptation.
Oh, okay, okay.
Tapos di ba the musical is set in 20 years and then 5 years apart?
Yeah,
He's
yeah, yeah.
gonna do that daw. He's gonna film
Oh,
it in 20 years, 5 years apart.
damn.
So he's supposed to start daw either this year or next year. So if he starts that,
Okay.
lalabas pa yung movie around 2040 plus.
Yeah, so I don't know about ano.
I, honestly, I'm excited kasi we know naman how good he is with this time thing with Boyhood and
Yeah,
Before series, 'di ba? So I
yeah,
think it's in good hands. Ang worry ko lang is if something happens to the actors na hindi niya ina-expect, 'di ba?
yeah, but it's
Not
too
knock
risky
on wood on
still.
the actors pero
Definitely.
yeah, that's the scary part lang like ano.
Oo.
And one of them is Bernie Fieldstein.
Oh,
So
I love Beanie Fieldstein from
Beanie Fieldstein. Yeah.
she's from
Ah,
Bird, right?
yeah.
Tama ba?
Huh?
I remember I watched her with Ben Platt in the 90th birthday thing. And then I know she was
Mm.
in what other movies was she in?
Lady Bird, Booksmart.
Oh, okay. Oh, I've only seen Lady Bird. Oh, but
Oh, you should watch
like
Booksmart.
they did show a musical in Lady Bird, which is Merrily We Roll Along. Do you remember this?
Full circle for
Yeah,
Beanie.
definitely. Totoo, totoo. Oh, congrats.
Pero ayun, like, there. Like,
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, so, going back, he merrily we rolled along kasi didn't do well. It had only 16 performances before it got off Broadway. So, nalungkot daw si Sondheim. Parang, I
Oh,
should quit
okay.
because, like, people don't like me. Ganun. And then he
Yeah.
wrote this musical called Sunday in the Park with George after seeing the painting daw.
Oh, nice.
So I think nga it helped na going into the musical, I knew that he wrote it out of sadness.
Mhm.
Kasi the musical is very sad.
It really is.
It's very
Isn't
it's
this-
very self-deprecating. Parang he keeps hating himself. He hates himself so much.
Yeah,
Ganun.
yeah. And like I don't know, his mistress is always talking about how, oh, I
It
know,
could
why
have been
don't you do
better,
this?
parang
Or,
gano'n.
yeah, ganon. So it is very
Yeah.
meta. Wow.
'Di ba? I told you iba yung level of meta niya, like now that you know na that was his mindset before writing the musical.
Mhm.
Now you understand it more, 'di ba?
Definitely. I feel as an artist din, or like someone who makes their own work, parang it's just weird to see how famous people are able to do, or famous creators like Stephen Sondheim are able to make their work because of something that happened in their life, and then you're like, "Psh, that's never gonna happen to me. I can whip something out of, I don't know, even if I haven't experienced it or whatever." But then you get to
Mm.
that point and then you're like, oh no, I'm just like them. Ganon.
Mm.
I don't know if
It's
that
so true.
ever happened to you, but yeah.
Ano, I get it naman. Like,
Right?
you keep thinking na parang, maybe, like, if you see Adele, di ba, you're like, maybe I
Yeah.
should go through a breakup so that I understand how to
Oh, yeah.
release this energy. But it doesn't have to be, di ba? Parang, you
Or
can
like,
still release that kind of energy with your own understanding of it, and it will still be equally as good as someone else's interpretation of it.
yeah, I think one of the things I take gripes with that is how people rag on Taylor Swift, or is that, I think musicians in general, when they go through a breakup, they're like, oh, I'm so excited for their new album, like even before they
I
announce it
don't,
or anything, like
so
you're already,
stupid, eh, no?
yeah, parang I don't think getting like talking about the world through the lens of experiences that you've had doesn't isn't as corny as people should make it out to be. Parang ganon.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
And
it shouldn't be as corny talaga.
and you feel that no, it's so distant. Like good works like Sweeney Todd, ganon. It's so distanced from the artist or something. Na parang I would never have, I know, thought about this or this and Sweeney Todd. But then when you dig deeper about like the themes of obsession, or about this,
Revenge.
yeah, revenge, or finding after someone who doesn't like you back.
And honestly, I think what Sondheim was inspired by was the idea na of this class system nga na of fighting back at the rich.
Oo. Oo.
He basically said, "Eat the rich," literally.
Yeah, literally nga, oo. Or a little.
Kasi the way does he, I don't know if he thought of the set, but I think
Mm,
the idea pa rin of like na Sweeney Todd's barbershop is above, and then that's where the rich people go, and then the
oh
bodies go to the
yeah,
bottom
you're
where
right.
the poor people eat, 'di ba?
Yeah, yeah. No, I had not. Wow, I never thought of that though. But that's amazing.
Really? I always thought of that kasi I was like, wow, like he really thought of the idea na parang this poor man who was wrongly
I
parang
know something.
I forgot what he was said to have done, basta parang wrongly accused of something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Tapos his daughter got taken away pa and his wife, ganon.
yeah.
Tapos when he gets out, he plans this big revenge, ganon. Pero when he had the chance to kill the judge, he didn't take it kasi he knows he should be a good person. Pero in the
Mhm.
end, he's just so angry at everything na. And then they realize, maybe we should make the rich. Di ba sabi nga sa A Little Priest, yung
Yeah,
song
yeah,
na yun,
yeah.
which is
Oh, yeah.
coincidentally pa well, not coincidentally, I think sinadya niya to
Mm-mm.
be the last song sa Act 1. It's the lyric there na
Yeah.
parang na once from above
Still
will
above, will
feed
serve
down
serve
those
those down
from
below.
to on
Yeah, yeah,
below.
yeah.
O, di ba? When I heard that part, I was like, wow. I thought this was just gonna be about this murderous barber shop person,
Oh,
ganon.
yeah.
Tapos it's so deeper than that pala. It's about this class system pa, about
Oo.
industrialist ideals and like, yeah,
Grabe. And like the fact that they had to stoop, quote unquote, to this level about like of feeding people to each other. Kasi oh, we're so
mm-mm,
poor. This is all we could afford, or like this is the best idea that we could ever think of or anything. That's kind of mind blowing actually. Now that you
totoo.
think about it.
Even kasi 'di ba the start he came in to Mrs. Lovette's bake shop to get the apartment upstairs, and then Mrs. Lovette realized, oh, siya pala he was the previous tenant, that's why he's getting it back, ganon. And then he asked about his wife, ganon, and then Mrs. Lovette lies.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then, like, in the end, we realized na, spoiler, we realized that his wife pala was the beggar woman that has been around the everywhere the whole time,
Yeah,
ganon.
and the way that he
Tapos
finds out.
parang, tapos he finds out pa because he killed
Yeah,
her
they
Tapos, tapos like,
No.
oh my gosh, like, look what happens when you do,
Yeah,
like,
when you
it's not
get
that he deserves it pa
their
nga
revenge,
eh.
you know. No,
'Di ba? Like,
it's really a tragedy. Like,
he doesn't,
uh-uh.
like, I think it's just a matter of circumstance, 'di ba? Parang gano'n na,
Oh yeah,
nagkataon lang na the wife heard, I forgot
something.
what the wife heard, what made her go up to the barber shop. But
Yeah,
the
yeah,
beggar
yeah.
woman heard it, and Sweeney saw her and then slit her throat, ganun.
Oo. And ano, I was gonna say something. Parang that's the epitome talaga of what tragedy is. Parang ganon. Na, oh, it's a comedy, but also people don't ask to do like ask for bad things to happen to them, or like people don't not
Mm-mm.
nobody deserves to have bad things to happen to them. It's just like either like the rich have something to do with it, or like
It's a matter of
it's just a,
circumstance.
yeah, or just bad luck. Like you just I know are in the wrong place at the wrong time, and you happen to have like a hot wife that the judge wants to bang, and like it's not anything. You're just living your life, and then suddenly someone comes along and tries to pin something on you, diba?
Yeah, 'di ba? That's why I love Sweeney Todd.
Me too. And I
Because
know
it's so deep.
for me, it's sa Into the Woods. It was like always about consequence. Not that like it's not just because someone did something wrong or like they deserved it, but it was their
But it's
goal.
the fact that they did do something, whether
Yeah,
it's
just
wrong or not.
they just took what like one step or like, diba? Si Jack and the Beanstalk, we know that he's the
Yeah,
hero of the
like,
story,
I think
diba?
that's the song na It's Your Fault was pointing at, na parang
Oo,
na
oo.
every choice they made had something to affect the problem that they had before this song.
Oh,
Parang ganun, 'di ba?
yeah. And like ano,
Each one of them had something to do with it.
oh, and I don't know, like at this point na what's this like you get so used to blaming people. Like I know there are
Mm,
really people to blame, but then alam mo
yes.
yun, some people are just what's this like they're above people who are blaming each other. Ganun. And then you don't realize
Yes.
that oh, it's not we're not supposed to be fighting against each other for one.
Yes.
I know, for one, like it's nobody's fault. You should look
'Di
probably
ba?
somewhere else or wherever. And then for two, like that's the message of like adulthood na oh, it's not about blaming what people did, but like what you're supposed to be doing next, ganon. Or like,
Yeah, it's about moving on kasi what
oh
if it's
my god,
something out of your
move
control, 'di
on.
ba?
Yeah.
Because children will move
And
on.
also, sorry, move on is from Sunday in the Park, so like full
Yeah,
circle talaga. Yeah.
'di
Oh
ba?
my god.
That's what he said, 'di ba? Move on kasi no, if you're just gonna obsess about it and be sad, then you'll just be sad until you die.
Totoo. It's such a, that's such a adult thing that I don't think people talk about enough. Like they tell you, be nice, ayun, be good, or like be nice. But like, what are the consequences of
No, it's
being
about
nice?
being right. Sabi nga ni
Yeah. Oh my
Witch,
god,
you're
I love
not good,
her.
you're not bad, you're just nice.
I was gonna say that's my favorite lyric of all of her songs. I'm not good. I'm not nice. I'm just right. It's parang, what? It's like two meanings pa. Like she's just right.
it's like it's like it's like you're like that moment when she said that, you're like, oh my god, she's right.
She's right as in sakto lang.
She is right.
Sakto
Yeah,
lang, but
like
also
parang
she's also correct. Ganon.
everything that she's doing is not selfish, but at the same time not selfless. It's
Yeah,
about
sakto
doing
lang.
what she
You're
thinks
right.
should be done.
Oh my god. I love her. I love Bernadette
I love
Peters.
the witch then. Eh.
Yeah,
Oh my god, Bernadette Peters.
grabe. Ay, ayun.
You know what? The next one I wanna watch nga is Assassins, cause
Mm.
it's considered pa nga one of his most controversial ones. Because if you don't know, it's
Yeah.
about the different assassins of presidents in
Yeah.
America and other types of assassins, and they sing songs about it. Parang
Oh
ganun.
yeah, I think I
They're
remember
like in a kind of
that.
purgatory thing na parang they're talking to each other,
Oh.
ganun.
Oo.
Tapos the first song, I saw the first song. The first song is about them singing about how everyone has their own dream and how they want to
Mm.
capture their dreams. And oh my god, it's so dark kasi like they're talking about following their dreams, but we know what they did in the end, that they killed
Oh,
someone.
that's so
Diba?
cute. Okay.
It's
I
so
love it.
morbidly, satirically, darkly comedic. Pero
Uh-huh.
That I think that's why it's one of his most controversial ones. Kasi he's humanizing
Mm.
assassins, diba?
Yeah, parang that's I know that's like really sketchy when you think about it. But like I feel the way that
I'm
he writes
I mean
people kasi
it's
like
really I think
anti-hero.
it's good naman kasi the fact that people revive it pa rin naman is good. But I think the climate right now, it would be hard to revive it again.
I
I think it would
agree.
have to take a time na people don't feel so pent up with anger
I
with
agree.
other
Yeah.
assassins.
Damn. And also, the fact that parang there are just some, I feel that there are just some pieces of media that if it were to fall into the wrong hands, alam mo yun, like for
Ay, totoo.
example,
Yeah, like
like if
Hamilton.
you're, oh my god, you just,
That's the
ano,
prime
hot take of the
example.
night. Okay, ano, I would like to ask, how does Hamilton fall into the wrong hands, siguro?
Kasi it could be it could be spread out as historical revisionism of changing the
Uh,
white founding fathers
yeah,
as blacks
yeah,
and POC.
definitely.
So yun yung scary part of Hamilton. That's why
Yes.
people tried to boycott it. But Lin Manuel Miranda's like, I get what you're saying, but this is cool, right?
Oh my god.
Pero I really don't like how he said it, talaga. Pero
Yeah, yeah. I already see
he
how
could
this,
have said it in a
ano.
better way. Pero
No, but yun nga, ano eh, I feel like at the time of 2015, nung time din, coincidentally, like Hamilton came out the same year that General Luna did. Diba? That's
mm-mm.
parang, now people would say na the same mentality that got General Luna famous is the same thing that brought us this presidency or whatever. Or like, ganon. So parang, yeah, like how do we really think about media that way? Na parang you get to be
It's hard.
mature enough or to see it in a way na you're quote unquote supposed to, 'di ba? Parang
Yes,
you're
I
not
get what
supposed to
you're
see
saying.
it. Yeah, you're not supposed to see it as like a pardon for slave owners or whatever or for macho
I think
guys.
it's all about what I said pa nga about Hamilton is if Lin-Manuel chose to change all the names of the people involved,
Mm-hmm.
hindi na siya matitake as historical revisionism because he's changed the names eh. He's made them fictional.
Yeah, yeah. If you only turned
That's
Alexander Hamilton into Lin Manuel
not just
Miranda.
Alexander, everyone. Change
Yeah, yeah.
everyone's names. If he just
Yeah,
changed everyone's names, no one would complain about Hamilton.
I agree. But like, ano kasi, one thing that also got me kind of sketchy about Hamilton. Oh no, hot take of the night again. But
No,
like,
but I really love
public
Hamilton. Ah. I really like it.
stereotype.
It's really good. It's really smart. It's
It's
really
very,
amazing. Pero,
it's
ngayon, syempre,
kind of for
the
time.
question of historical revisionism is always at the back.
Oo, when you strip away like the novelty and how much it changed like how people view musicals in the first place. Like, 'di ba, we were just
Uh,
saying earlier, like musicals aren't supposed to be like all I know
happy, happy.
oh, happy happy or parang if macho people
Escapism.
were to say parang oh that's too girly or too for me whatever ganon the usual thing like it's too much dancing people or whatever. But like if you like thought about Hamilton changing everyone's perception of what a musical should be, parang okay, I'm grateful. Also, this is about slave owners, so like after the sparkle in your eyes starts to fade
And
away.
honestly, like, out of all the people there, pa nga, the characters, Hamilton is the worst one. Kasi he's so
Mhm.
selfish. Everything he did. I think yun naman din yung what he, quote-unquote, tried to show but with everything that happened in the play. Pero
Yeah.
I don't think he should have ended it with people talking nice about Hamilton. It
Yeah,
could have been just like people learning things about his life. Parang ganun.
yeah, and taking
Na parang,
different kasi gano'n naman talaga 'di ba? Like you take
yeah,
different
like,
things about yeah.
yeah, it could have ended instead of people like lamenting his death. It could have been like, I'm not saying that I'm making a better ending. It's just about the long term effect of what the ending does.
Definitely.
Like
Yeah.
I remember I don't think some people even realize how much it's Alexander Hamilton's fault why people are saying na guns should be legal and stuff sa America.
Oh, you know that he invented Wall Street, right? He literally
'Di ba? Like
invented Wall
he
Street.
invented everything that we hate about capitalism and
Yeah.
money grabbing and stuff.
Yeah.
Pero people don't see it because
Oh,
Lin-Manuel Miranda made a beautiful musical.
rap. Yeah. And it's rap, so it's cool. Well,
Yeah, that's the.
yeah.
But the thing nga is, I feel like the fact that it's so good talaga,
Mm-hmm.
you can't remove that. Pero syempre, I'm thinking if it weren't a good musical, we probably wouldn't be talking about it right now.
Oh, I agree. I guess it's the same way with
Double-edged
like
sword
a
talaga in
lot
the
of
end.
yeah, a lot of popular media like Harry Potter is the next thing that comes to mind after that. Because when you start to think about some of the characters, it's very oh, that's not something that I would agree with anymore.
Mm-mm.
Ganon.
Well, ayun. Sondheim.
Yes, back to Sondheim. Uh,
But
um,
I think
yeah.
the difference lang between Sondheim is, like I said, if Lin Manuel Miranda just changed the names, the fact that Sondheim made such diverse range of characters na I think even if he chose, I don't know, kasi Sunday naman he didn't change the name, Assassins
Mm-hmm.
he didn't change the name. Maybe that's why they're not as popular as his other ones because they're a little scary to touch again.
Yeah,
Pero
yeah.
I don't know. In the future, we'll never know.
I'm glad then there are things that, alam mo yun, parang, oh, this is something that, like we were saying earlier na a lot of his works are super timeless, but then there are things that really we could leave in the past, parang ganon. And
Mm-mm.
I guess, and wala, I think it's important for some artists to acknowledge that, move on, and you should,
Yeah.
and such.
And also, don't touch history anymore kasi.
His what?
That's what
History?
I'm
Oh,
seeing.
yeah.
Don't touch history anymore. Or if you're gonna touch
Oo.
it, change the names.
Yeah, I agree. Or like, know, it's really how you frame it, ganun.
How you frame it pa rin.
Yeah.
Hamilton. Um, I mean, look at this. Look at it this way na lang if anyone listening na. If company used real people and even kept it the same, I don't think company will be revived as much kasi nga it's based on an actual person. Does it make sense?
yeah, parang okay, we've already talked enough about this specific person, but then when you think about it, this person is already cemented in time. Whereas if you were
Yeah,
to
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about
True.
si
So
Bobby,
parang
it's
you're changing the
someone who's
perspective about this person na in the
uh,
future and stuff.
yeah, like he's
So
still
the fact that these are fictional people that could be anyone,
uh,
it's still revived until now.
I agree. The power of
To the
time.
point where the recent revival changed the genders, diba?
Yeah,
Bobby is
yeah.
a woman and the
Oh,
three
that's
girlfriends are
similar.
three men. Parang
Yes.
ganon.
Uh-oh.
Na now we're like, have we reached that point na the women are the
The
womanizers?
oo nga eh. I still
Diba?
don't know
Parang
how
it
to
makes you
think
think of
about
that
it.
eh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Galing.
Katrina like, but like she's
Ah,
oh my god,
it's,
she's untouchable. But then when you think about it, do we really need her as Bobby? Kasi for me, when I take a look at Bobby, I would automatically like find people around our age who I would be like, you need to watch this musical and also find out like what happens in the end, like what he realizes,
mm-mm,
diba?
mm-mm.
Parang
Totoo. Then maybe, that's the ano lang na parang maybe in the future there will be a point na some women are like this Bobby. So
mhm.
they need to see it kasi they're not exempted from it. And then there are some na men
Yeah.
na should watch the original ones kasi it's a man doing it. Parang ganun.
Yeah.
Now you have options.
Totoo. I'm so glad that Marriage Story covered it too. Kasi parang,
Ooh.
I found friends who found out about being alive because of Marriage Story. And I was like, yes, but you have to watch
Uh,
Company too. I'm doing you a service here and recommending Company to you.
yeah.
Ayun.
Sondheim.
Yes. How
Yeah,
many yan?
we haven't even we're like we talked a lot now, but we haven't even talked about how witty his lyrics are.
Oh,
Like
yes. Oo, definitely.
some people say pa nga na he's like if Shakespeare I didn't say this I read it. It's not me. Don't hate me for this. Pero Shakespeare daw is to theater what Sondheim is to musical theater.
Oh, well, I feel like we've already talked about Hamilton enough for people to not care about that. This is actually disguised as a Stephen Sondheim podcast.
Pero
Ranting.
totoo though, like I think the way he plays with the words and then makes the music and the melody work well with the words and still have this emotion, this empathy, and this wit.
Mhm.
Parang, how do you do that? How do you do that? Yun lang talaga. How do you do that?
Yeah,
Genius.
oo. Like, and I was like the musical I was talking about earlier. What's this yung Twisted? I really recommend you watching it, by the way. Kasi
Sige.
someone compared Stephen Sondheim's lyrics to the lyrics there and how he transposes
Sige
it.
nga, judge ko.
Ha? Ano yun? Huwag mo i-judge. But like,
I-judge ko kung Sondheim level ba.
well, I don't know if it will reach your
I don't
standard.
think anyone can reach his level of double entendres.
No, I agree. But like, kasi, when you think about it from like a creative standpoint as someone who writes din, parang how are you able to think of these rhymes? Like, ako nga, I couldn't,
Honestly,
di ba?
um, off the top of my head, I'm thinking of, do you know that part sa It's Your Fault where the witch says, it's his fault that the curse got placed and the place got cursed in the first place. Oh my gosh! Who thinks of that?
Right? Tapos he's on his own?
Saan galing yun?
Yeah, and the witch's rap. Oh my god! Like if you remember the witch's rap,
Parsley, pepper, arugula, asparagus, all right.
Oh, that reminds me. Since we were just talking about Lin Manuel Miranda, I was telling again. Shout out to my friend Mandy that I was like, oh my god, Stephen Sondheim writes raps for white people. Although eventually,
Oh,
hindi naman
sa company pa lang not getting married.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's even faster than a rap eh.
Yeah.
How I remember I read pa nga
Satisfied of.
kasi Angela Lansbury was the first Mrs. Lovett
Yeah.
in Sweeney Todd. Well, I don't know how true this is because I just read it. Apparently when Sondheim gave her the music sheet,
Mm-hmm.
she was like, the first question she asked though, where do I breathe?
Yeah, yeah.
You know the first song sa that Lovett sings, yung Worst Spies in London, diba? Hey, what's
Yeah.
that?
I wanna learn that.
Hey, what's your wash? What's your worry? Parang ganun.
Oo.
Oh my gosh, where do you breathe?
Yeah,
Apparently,
yeah.
tapos sabi daw, Sondheim's reply to Angela Lansbury was like, oh, I didn't think about that. Just do it na lang. You're supposed to do it in one, parang he said like, you're supposed to do it in one breath. Parang ganun.
Yeah, and I don't think that's the same thing. I don't think any other musical writer really does that. Lalo na among his contemporaries. Parang no, I think he's the
Totoo.
only one who did it. I was gonna say that there was one song that I wish they included in Sweeney Todd the movie kasi I felt that it was so unfair that they excluded it, and it was Kiss Me, which was a duet between the daughter of Sweeney Todd, si Joanna, and si Anthony.
Oh, the reason daw kasi
Like it doesn't really add.
Tim Burton wanted to focus more on Sweeney Todd, less on Anthony.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why they cut it out.
Okay, okay. But it's so.
Kasi if his thinking din daw Tim Burton. I'm defending Tim Burton at this point. Pero Tim Burton was like saying na parang he knows he watched the musical daw when it came out and he watched it 3 times in a row. That's how much he loved it. Tapos
Yeah. I love you.
tapos his worry though was if he has to put all of the songs, the film would be much longer than the play itself.
Uh-huh.
So everything he did though after that, so okay, I'm cutting this song. He asks Sondheim first if it's okay, and then he explains why, and then Sondheim will. So every choice he made though in the movie, what to cut, what to shorten, were all approved by Sondheim.
That's
So
good.
anyone who says na parang, oh, I'm not saying na you're wrong, pero like
Yeah.
I'm just saying na parang Sondheim approved all of this. So people can't say na the movie is bad kasi Sondheim approved all of this.
And I know someone did say parang I watched a video essay about how Sweeney Todd is actually one of the best musical adaptations.
Totoo naman eh. Like,
But yeah, the way that the score starts up, ganon, even if they don't really have the same pre-chorus, like
yes.
the whole theme.
And
Mhm.
the changes in the orchestra Sondheim made them. Like
Yeah,
Tim Burton was like, "Hey, can you like change this? Kasi in the musical you only use like 10 instruments. Can you update it to like 70 more instruments so that it will be more cinematic in the musical?" Totoo, that's one of the things that happened. So like Sondheim's like, "Sure," and then he did it. Yan, diba?
that's great. And for the best talaga.
Yes.
I think ano lang. I mean, not to say that they needed it at this point, pero when I listened to the musical songs Sweeney Todd, that when I discovered Kiss Me, that was when I really found out like the diversity of his work. Na parang we could. I didn't expect the song to be in Sweeney Todd in the first place, kasi parang it
Totoo.
sounded like the opposite of what the tone was going to
Mm-mm.
be, and then parang it got the anxiety correctly, and like when you first listen to it and like si Joe starts stuttering, parang there's no other
Oh my gosh. I
that
think pa nga,
perfectly.
not getting married is anxiety at
Oh,
its
that
peak.
too.
Eh.
Yeah, definitely. Oh,
Kasi the stress level of Amy is like, oh my gosh, I don't want to get married. Like, tapos the lyrics pa, oh my gosh, let's go back to how beautiful the lyrics are.
yes,
Like,
please.
she's talking to the audience, but she's treating the audience as like the audience of
Of
his
her marriage, of her wedding.
of her wedding. Like, oh my gosh, the levels are all there. Ganun.
Yeah,
And then the choir angel is like, oh, this lady is dressed like.
yeah, and she's like, oh, ano, she's here, ano, this day is amazing, and then later she's like, oh, this lady's crazy. Or it's
Yeah, dude.
yeah,
It's
it's
so
so
fun.
great. I love the contrast talaga. And it really perfectly talks about I mean it portrays like this whole song can't ever just be this Amy singing quickly. It always needs the contrast of each of the characters, like the
Mm-mm.
choir
Like
person.
in Worst Spies in London,
Oh,
diba?
oh, oh, oh.
Diba? She goes from very fast to very slow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which, wow.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know. I need to learn that song eventually. And like
There's a
she's just
karaoke
so
in YouTube that I sing to sometimes.
oh
Because I really love that song. Eh.
yeah, and like the exposition that she does in that song,
Yes.
how I don't know why
Mrs.
people
Mooney
really
has a
like
pie shop.
it. And ano to, sir, would you like a spot of ale? And like she gives him the pie, and then there's so much loaded in that, and the song is barely like 2 minutes.
Is that just disgusting?
Oh, definitely. It isn't even
And
3 minutes.
I
What?
never realized this joke until I saw the musical version kasi it's not it's a bit of the film's fault din na hindi highlighted yung joke. Pero until I saw Patti Lupone's
Oh,
version of it, I never realized that there was this joke pala.
wait,
There's the it's so revolting, it's greasy and gritty, it looks like it's molting and tastes like
well, it,
well pity. I was like, okay.
yeah.
But then I realized you were supposed to think that she was gonna say kitty.
Oh, okay.
Kasi it's greasy and gritty,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
looks like it's molting and tastes like kitty. Yun dapat yung ina-expect mo. But she doesn't say it. Kasi Sweeney looks at her na parang, are you gonna say kitty? And she's like, well,
Oh,
pity.
oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. Because it
Kasi she
doesn't
talked
have
about
that.
how Mrs. Mooney puts cats in her pies, di
Yeah,
ba?
yeah, yeah. But she doesn't have. She doesn't do that.
Yeah, she does. Because the pussy cats are quick.
Yeah, and I know. Oh, how she falls into a woman alone with limits. Oh,
With lemon. That's why she does that. Kasi nga, she was trying to recover from Kitty.
yeah. Okay. Okay. 'Cause she can't
Eh,
catch them, girl.
Did you just learn that now then?
No, yeah, parang you think that it was just like, oh, I know Stephen Sondheim ran out of things to put in the lyrics or something. But then you're like, no, he put
Apparently,
thought into
may
every
joke.
single thing. Yeah, he put thought into every single thing. So I love a little peek at it. They took out a lot of the puns in the movie, which is okay for me. Like it's
As a Little Priest.
yeah,
Yeah, kasi it is okay pa rin kasi I feel like if they put the whole song in A Little Priest,
yeah,
it would go on so long.
yeah, and
It would
people
be
would be like,
so
oh, we get
bored.
it.
Parang, okay, fine, we get it. You're making puns about these eating people.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why, for me, that was a right decision of cutting it down.
I agree. Oo.
Pero in the play, you're gonna enjoy each and every pun of it.
Yeah, parang I think that's also like he took that he knew what it was about each medium. that he needed to
Mm-mm.
do. Kasi like for plays, parang if you miss one joke, you can't go back to it. Like you can't rewind it.
Mm-mm.
So he had to like make jokes just in case. Just in case
Make it
you slept.
longer.
Yeah,
Just in
and
case
then
you
you
missed it.
didn't get, yeah, if you missed it, here's another one. Or here's another, I know. Just in case you don't get that we're talking about eating people. Yun.
And I like din na, just like the kitty joke,
Yeah.
he makes another rhyme joke here in A Little Priest, diba? Where Lovette's like, do you want tinker? A little pinker. Tailor? A
Uh,
little paler. What's the next one? Uh,
the,
it's like something vicar ata,
uh,
and then something thicker, and then she goes locksmith, and
uh,
then Sweeney's like, oh, I don't know what rhymes with locksmith,
so parang they
but he
just
doesn't
leave
say
it.
it. It's just in his head,
Yeah,
diba?
yeah. So like there are things that you don't have to say necessarily.
Uh-uh.
Oo.
But honestly, I did get that the first. I was like, what?
You
What's
have
so funny
to
about locksmith?
you have to just
Oh, because nothing rhymes with locksmith. Ah,
grabe. Things you have to listen to over and over. And like you only get it if
true.
people react to it. So you're like, oh, okay.
Oh, totoo. If I didn't watch the play where people were laughing with the jokes, I was like, what?
Yeah,
That was a funny thing?
yeah, yeah. The things that you learn talaga.
I mean, that's the magic of like Sondheim talaga na how the level of wit he has na parang
Mm.
grabe talaga yung level of jokes niya. Even to the point na parang it's almost highbrow the way he
Oo.
jokes na parang you have to be you have to have certain knowledge about things to understand like about language like that ganon.
Yeah, yeah. And I know, parang whenever I think of Sondheim also, I feel like I owe it to composed or lyricists like Howard Ashman
Mm.
who wrote The Little Mermaid basically, and then these songs that like you repeat over and over na parang you don't know what the lyrics mean at first, and then suddenly it plays again, and then you sing all the lyrics perfectly, and you're like, wait a minute, like did I hear this correctly when I was a
Are you
child?
talking about ano? Are you talking about poor unfortunate
Yeah,
souls?
that's also what.
Because when you sing it, you're like, oh, this is horrible.
Yeah,
Why am I singing it?
and the part where she goes, it's she who holds her tongue who gets a man, and you're like, wait, I sang this when I was like 5, before I
Uh,
even had the vocabulary. That's yeah, it's very ano to, it gets you deeper the more times that you listen to it.
yeah, yeah, that's yun nga. Like there's something about these lyricists talaga na making. But I think what
Mm-hmm.
Sondheim levels up from it is the fact that you notice it almost immediately in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, while they sing, even though it's so fast or so slow, and that's the another thing about him na parang he can almost do like almost every genre imaginable because he
Yeah,
has like
yeah.
he has an opera which is Sweeney Todd. He
Mm-hmm.
has like a sing song like musical which is Into the Woods, and then he has
Mm-hmm.
the company where it's just
It's a modern
pure
musical.
farce.
Yeah. I was
Pure farce,
actually.
and then
Mm,
he has passion, which is all about this romance and
yeah.
this about
I was actually surprised that he wrote West Side Story because it seemed like such a different,
but
like
he's
knowing him
only
from a little place, or like
yeah.
diba? And then you're going back to West Side Story. Interesting.
The funny thing about looking at West Side Story, he only wrote the lyrics, not the
Yeah,
music.
yeah.
So it's so interesting seeing him make lyrics for something for a music that he didn't write in a way. Kasi I think that's the magic of him
Yeah.
writing the lyrics and music. Kasi if you look at also like a Little Night Music where it's so sad and so mellow ganun the music. Like pero he still adds his flair of like playing with words and stuff. Na
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he had a hard time doing it in West Side Story, but West Side Story is good din yung lyrics, 'di ba? Pero it's so weird seeing his wit and his humor and his play on words in a musical where he didn't write the music as well. Does it make sense?
Oh yeah, because I just literally like the when you mentioned how he would be writing someone else's music. I read that he didn't really like the lyrics to "I Feel Pretty." If you're, because "I Feel Pretty"
See,
is part of West Side Story, and he was like, oh, I
but
know,
it's one of his
comparing it to,
first stuff naman. So
that's
it
fair, that's fair.
that's all of us, and honestly, our
Oh,
first things then we don't like.
oh yeah, that's parang when you look back at it, like comparing, ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? So like, I feel pretty and so witty and yay. You're like, okay. Diba? So, parang
If you
I can
compare it
relate.
to, we've no time to sit and dither
Yeah,
while
while
her
I'm with
withers wither.
yeah,
Oh my God,
parang
who thinks of withers wither with her?
yeah, that's three different sets of words or different phrases
Different
compared to
homophones.
compared to I feel pretty. Yes, we can relate as a young artist, ganon. Uh,
Honestly, Sondheim is like the person who opened my eyes to like what musicals could be more than what it is.
yeah,
Honestly, not saying na not saying that Weber's bad or anything, but then he's like the what do you call that? He's like the bar. He sets the bar on what is a great musical. But
oo.
Sondheim takes it to another level kasi na you did not expect musicals could be like.
Yeah, yeah. If Weber was the gateway, which I'm actually really thankful for, or like if Disney were the gateway to people listening to musicals, I would say
Yeah, it's
definitely
okay pa
I
rin.
don't know. If you really like it or like you really want to explore more, Sondheim would definitely be the second person for you to watch and hopefully obsess over as well. Ganon.
Honestly, I feel like he's like if you've reached Sondheim levels of understanding of musical na it's not just the face value and stuff like yung talagang what we just talked about like yung level of deepness na you didn't even know na may joke doon, you didn't even know
Yeah,
na ito
writing
yung
lyrics
meaning niya.
on how to
Yeah, like
ano.
if you reach that point na I think you've seen enough. Not saying that you shouldn't watch anymore, but you know what I mean, like
Parang from
you've
there,
reached the nirvana of musicals na in a way.
yeah, yeah.
Ah,
Or like
someone will come for me for that.
oh no. No, but like I feel the way mas in-interpret ko from what you're saying is that like you're equipped enough to see more
Yes,
musicals in a different light and
yes,
not just, you know, from a certain mainstream perspective if I would say. Not to say that
yes.
he's not mainstream, pero you're like, oh, this is like Sondheim did this also in his musical or whatever. Parang ganon.
Parang you now see musical as not just this escapist sing song people dancing in no in cat suits. Oops. Um
Oh no.
oh,
Damn.
cat is good naman as a musical.
Uh-uh.
Um but then yun nga like even like a musical like Cabaret in Chicago where it's very minimalist versus musicals like Lion King which is very maximalist in its approach. Parang
Yeah.
you see them more than what they are now because seeing Sondheim musicals makes you look at musicals in a different light na talaga.
Oo. Totoo. Super agree.
So, Patty, basically what we're saying,
Mm.
Sondheim. Sondheim.
Fun
It's
and fun.
this the it's like being John Malkovich.
Oh
Malkovich,
yeah.
Malkovich, Malkovich.
Yeah.
Sondheim. I don't
Sondheim.
think I can even summarize what we said because we said a lot about him.
Did like how did like trying to recall, but like it was just so many facets. Just like his work. Yes. Full circle. It's like his
Okay,
work.
maybe
Full circle.
maybe like from what I remember, it's about the way he humanizes unlikable characters,
Yeah.
the way he makes his music very hard, but at the
Challenging.
same time
I
challenging, but to the point where it's because that's the how the character should be, parang ganon.
yeah, iconic and also necessary. Like it really helps the narrative and
Push forward.
and gives you like the full effect of what he really wants you to do.
Yeah, it's not just they're singing because they're singing. It's they're singing because there's
Oh,
something to
that's
sing
there's a purpose.
about.
Yeah, yes, and I learned that the hard way. Like if you were to think of how to write a musical, you would be like you would listen to something and you're like, oh, I can't do this at all. Parang ganon.
Yes, yun. So basically, watch Sondheim, guys.
Yes, pick your I don't know.
Pick your poison. Basically, that's Sondheim in a gist. I hope after listening to this, anyone who listens to this who hasn't listened to Sondheim will watch any Sondheim and not
Yes,
think it's just any other musical. But it's more than that, guys. It's
I
really
agree.
more than that.
So after you listen to this, go watch Sondheim and then go back to this. You're like, yeah, I agree. But
And
also,
it will change.
I hope people like I know go talk to you and tell you what they really
I
think.
totoo.
You
I
know,
hope.
and they'll be like, no, I know this is my favorite. I hate whatever you just said or like whatever you guys.
I
I
don't
disagree
think
with
I
everything.
don't think anyone will say they hate a Sondheim
That's
musical because
fair.
all of them are good.
That's fair. That's fair.
For me,
They
all
will
of
just
them are good. There's no bad one.
they will just what's this? Brain fart. They will just tell you or disagree with what your favorite should be.
Yes.
Yay.
So, well, that's it about Sondheim. So, Patty,
Oh
let's
no.
talk about you in a way. Basically, it's
Mhm.
just to end this. Do you have anything to promote, or like, do you have? Where can people reach you,
Wow.
talk to you about
Well,
Sondheim if they want
my
to?
Twitter is public. I hope that no one. I know. I hope that anyone who wants to talk to me will do it in an agreeable, polite way. My Twitter is my Twitter is at Sipatitay. That's PATTITAY. Yes, and but like if you would rather like
Yes,
see where I draw or I actually did that reminds me like I did a fan art of Mrs. Lovett talking to the waitress. Wait, you'll see what's her name?
Toby. Oh, kala ko to.
The
Oh,
Sarah Bareilles musical. Si
yes. I was gonna say
Jenna.
Jesse Mueller. So I
No,
realized,
yeah,
wait,
close
that's the
enough.
name of
Si
the
Jenna,
actress.
Jenna the waitress. Talking to each other about eyes, yeah.
Basta si
Yes,
waitress. Si
waitress.
waitress from
So,
waitress.
you can reach me as Art of Patty Ramos on Instagram. That's PATTIRAMOS. Art of at the beginning. So, yeah. Yes,
Basically,
Patty.
Patty with an eye, guys.
So there. That's it.
So thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, Patty, for
You
joining
for
this
finally
episode.
letting me on a podcast where I can actually talk back to the people in the pod. I'm actually one of the people.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, wow.
An honor.
No, we're just audiences talking about our
But it's still an
opinions.
honor
That's the
to
thing.
be able to rave about Sondheim with you, Luke, on this show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
See,
you.
thank you, Patty, again. So that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Everyone who listened, everyone who subscribed. I hope that you enjoyed all of these episodes, all eight of this season one. So this is actually the season finale of season one. So I don't know when I'm going to do this again or when I'm gonna continue this. But if you stay tuned on my social media, maybe you'll find out when I'm gonna start it again. Yeah. So yeah, thank you again, everyone. So going back to dragons, so there are worms, which are dragons without legs, and sometimes even without wings. I don't know how that works. And then there's wyverns or wyverns, however you want to pronounce it, which is apparently dependent on which lore you're using. I mean, I just